Okay, welcome to class. Today we're going to be talking about slope. When I think about slope, I think about skiing, right? And I think about a awesome mountain slope with fresh powder on it that I can just go zooming down, and I start smiling because I think I am having some fun. All right, so that's where I am. Slope is what slope is, and it's great to think about a mountain slope because that's you kind of are getting the right picture in your mind. Mathematically, slope is a number or a measurement of how steep a line is. All right, so looking at this picture, it looks like a pretty decent slope right there. All right, that's a pretty decent slope. Now, where I live, we don't exactly have mountains like that. We don't have any mountains. And in fact, most of our hills around here look kind of like this. All right. And even that picture, I mean, you see some mountain slopes in the background that are even a lot bigger, a lot steeper than this. Like as I'm looking, this dude right back here, this mountain right there, that is coming down really steep. You'd have to be pretty good to ski down that. All right. So how does slope work? How do these numbers work? Well, some slopes are bigger than others, right? We saw three different slopes on there. My slopes that are pretty flat, that ski slope that looks pretty fun, and then the one in the background that looks pretty scary. The bigger the slope, the steeper the mountain, the bigger the number. Okay, so just know that this slope is going to be bigger than this slope, and this slope right here is the biggest of all. Okay, so the steeper the slope, the bigger the number. All right, so one other thing, this would have a positive slope, and actually let me see if I can draw it a little bit better. That slope right there as a number is right about a positive 1. Okay, this slope over here is right about a negative 1. Okay, so you can see as you kind of read it from left to right, a positive slope is going up and a negative slope is going down. All right, so let's go through and actually calculate some of these. So we're imagining a coordinate plane, right? We know how to graph these points. We know how to graph, and we've got a point 9.3, so a point out here somewhere, and a point 4.8, a point right here. And what I want to know is, what is the slope that goes through those two lines? Well, we could graph it. That would be a way that we could do it, or we can use the slope formula. Now, the slope formula is over there, y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. This is the change in y, how much y is changing, so how much we're changing going up and down, and the change in x, so divided by the change in how long it's taking us to do that. So how fast are we changing how far? Okay, how far are we changing how fast? Now, a lot of people will use the words rise over run. The change in y is your rise, and the change in x is your run. Honestly, those words have never made too much sense to me. I'm just going to say up and over. I think those words make a lot more sense. And the y2 and the y1, that just means you x2, x1, use your first pair or your second ordered pair and then your first ordered pair. Honestly, you don't even need to do that. All right? Just make sure that they stay in an order. It doesn't matter if you use your first pair first or your second pair first. It doesn't matter. Okay? What you're going to hear me say is just y minus y over x minus x. Let's go ahead and get started. Enough of me just chit-chatting. So our y's have to go on the top. So I'm going to connect my y's on the top and connect my x's on the bottom. And then I'm just going to plug them into the slope formula. So on the top, I see that I've got 3 minus 8. Again, the y's are on the top. The x's are on the bottom. And 9 minus 4. So 3 minus 8 is going to be negative 5. 9 minus 4 is a positive 5. Now let's simplify this. Negative 5 over positive 5 is 1. So the slope of that line is 1. Let's look at the next one. Connect the y's on the top x's on the bottom, and then subtract them. My top numbers, -5 and 15. My bottom numbers, 12 and, watch this. See this? I'm even going to put this in blue so it stands out. On the bottom, I have to put in 12 and -4, so I already put in 12. Now I need to put in -4. Notice that I actually wrote in there -4. So 12 minus -4 minus negative is going to be a plus positive. So -15 minus 5 is going to be -20. And 12 plus 4 is going to be 16. Now, always reduce a fraction. Always. We can divide both of these by 4. This is going to simplify to -5/4. And slope is really easy to use as a fraction, so let's just leave it there. Let's do another one. So here's what I got. 9 minus 20, I've got on the top 9 and -23. Again, notice I wrote in -23. On the bottom, 27 and 14. So on the top, minus negative is a plus positive. 9 plus 23 is going to be 32. And on the bottom, 27 minus 14 is going to be 13. This can't be simplified any further, so we're just going to leave it right there. Let's do some tricky ones, okay? These are tricky. Connect the y's on the top, x's on the bottom. Y minus y over x minus x. So on the top, I've got 15 minus 15. On the bottom, I've got 12 minus -4. So on the bottom, minus -4, that's going to be a plus 4. On the top, 15 minus 15 is 0. And on the bottom, 12 plus 4 is 16. What's 0 divided by 16? You got it. It's just 0. Okay, so the slope of that line is 0. Let's look at the next one. Y's go on top, x's go on the bottom. So I've just got 3 minus 8 on the top, 9 minus 9 on the bottom. So 3 minus 8 is -5. And on the bottom, 9 minus 9 is 0. Okay, so -5 divided by 0, obviously that's 0. Or is it? Let's use our calculator. See, let's see. What is -5 divided by 0 is, I don't know if you can see it, but it says math error. Math error. What's the error? Well, maybe you forgot this, but we can never divide by 0. It doesn't work. It is impossible to divide something by 0, so it is impossible to calculate this slope. Sometimes later we'll call this no solutions. When we're talking about slope, what we call this is undefined. The slope of this line is undefined. Let's look at that top one first real quick. A 0 slope is a flat line like this. One of the ways I remember that is saying, how much fun did you have skiing on a slope like this? How much fun? 0 fun, right? Like I asked somebody, how much fun did you have going skiing on this slope? And they said 0. I didn't have any fun, no fun. Then somebody else I asked said, how much fun did you have going skiing on this slope? You know what they told me? Nothing. They didn't tell me. Why? Because they were dead. They went skiing on this slope. They died. They could not tell me any answer. So the slope of this line is undefined. We'll just never know. Slope of this line is 0. Slope of this line is undefined. All right, that's it. I know you got it. Good luck.